everyone. So today I am doing a requested video. I really liked this request. I should actually probably say who requested it. This user here, I'm sorry if I'm about to butcher your name, Michaela713. And basically she was just wondering if I had any tips about things I would change about my senior year of high school as far as things like college application goes, are senior pictures worth it, when should you apply, etc, etc. She asks a few questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a video about things you need to think about your senior year of high school regarding college. If you guys have any other questions regarding this, just of course leave them down below and I'll either do like a follow-up video or I'll just answer them in the comments. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, are senior portraits really worth it? The short answer, no. And I will explain why in a moment here, but I went to a very large public school, so just know that I have a huge typical American high school, okay? So this means that I'm going to school with a bunch of spoiled rich kids who take things like this very seriously, which means a lot of people are willing to spend a lot of money on their senior portraits. For me personally, I wish I honestly would have just gone somewhere that looks nice, with just like a nice background, and taken a picture with the camera I'm using right now. If any of you are watching and you own a DSLR style camera, I use a Canon T3i, and whenever I take portraits, I use this lens right here. This is the Canon 40mm lens. I easily could have just set up a tripod and snapped a picture to use for the yearbook, used for grad party invitations, etc, etc. Instead, I did have my photography teacher take it, which was okay. She's cheaper than most photographers. Some photographers range anywhere from like $200 to $500 for like a 2-hour session, which is ridiculous. My photography teacher, because I'm friends with her, charged me only like $125, which in hindsight is still extremely expensive considering I like my senior portraits, but I didn't even use them on my grad invites for one, and the picture of me in the yearbook just doesn't even look like me anymore because it's back when I still had like my bangs and stuff, and it's just, I feel like I spent so much money on pictures that I don't even really like anymore. Like I literally just looked at my pictures by the end of senior year and I was just like, I don't even look like that. So no, I recommend you take your own pictures and save yourself some money. If you don't have a camera though, I would just say hunt around. If you have a photo teacher or an art teacher at your school who takes pictures, have them do it. If you have a cousin, a brother, a mother, a sister, anyone who takes pictures, ask if they will take your senior portraits for either a discounted price or for free. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Now, moving on to the whole college thought process of your senior year of high school, which is a huge part of your senior year of high school. It's very nerve-wracking. I want to talk about picking a school, and I want to say don't have your preconceptions about in-state schools versus out-of-state schools. Some people, to start with the out-of-state school process, think, you know, I'm done with high school, I want to get the heck out of my state, my city, I just want to leave, I want to go out of state, and they just think that's going to be better. Or there's some people who, you know, maybe would want to go out of state, but they don't think they can afford it, so they just decide to stay in-state, blah blah blah. They let all these things get in the way of them actually just researching schools without having any sort of bias or whatever, when really you should just be, you know, trying to find the school that's best for you, regardless of if it's in-state, in your state, or out of your state. If there's a school out of state that you really like but you think money's gonna be an issue, don't completely, you know, knock it out of your thought process yet. A lot of the times, out of state schools will give you scholarships just because you are out of state. My friend Kendall, if you're watching this, he's probably not, but shout out to Kendall if you are. He got a scholarship to go to Kent State in Ohio just because he was out of state, which is nice. You know, it's not always a big scholarship, but if you are doing well academically, most of the time they will give you more money if you are out of state, or obviously if you do sports, other activities, that's always gonna look good and they'll give you more scholarships for that. So if you are a very active student in your high school and you think scholarships could possibly be coming your way, then don't knock out the idea of in-state schools just yet. Although in-state schools can be just as good as well. And I can use my own personal experience for this. As you guys know, I've mentioned it before, I am going to Iowa State University next year, which is an in-state school because I am from Iowa, and I'm going to be studying fashion design. And it's actually in the top 10 fashion design schools. I believe Iowa State is the number 7 school for fashion design and number 4 for fashion merchandising. So if any of y'all are, you know, into fashion, maybe you should apply and then we can go to school together. Ooh. But anyway, beside the point. I was having regrets during my orientation process actually, picking Iowa State just because, you know, I was looking at the little poster hanging up that said where Iowa State fits on the whole top 10 scale. And I even saw Kent State was like number, I don't know, it was just like a couple spots or a spot above Iowa State University. And I was like, well, shoot, maybe I should have, you know, considered that. So that goes back to, you know, doing your research. Don't knock the idea of out-of-state schools out of the park just yet, because I pretty much knocked them out of the park just because I thought I wouldn't be able to afford it, when really I probably could have. However, Iowa State and other in-state schools, depending on what, you know, your major is gonna be, I don't know what states you guys live in obviously, but like if there is a school in your state that is excellent for whatever you happen to be interested in and it's going to be cheaper, definitely look into going there. There's nothing wrong with staying in-state for school. Mine's still far enough away that I'm going to be dorming there, so I'm going to have the full college experience. And the good thing about my school, and I'm sure other schools in particular, is there are a ton of internship and study abroad opportunities, so you will get out of your state eventually if that is the ultimate goal, which it is for me. It's not a complete loss at all. Another thing I don't want to knock out completely, if you have no idea what you want to do, you could be an undecided major at a 4-year. This is starting to get into territory that I probably can't necessarily answer about, but I'm just gonna go from like what I've heard from other people at this point, that I know, who I work with, or just people that I've seen on YouTube. Don't knock out the idea of community college. I know there's this whole stigma against community college, but honestly, you can knock out so many credits and save so much money by getting 2 years of general studies done at a community college and then transferring to the school of your choice. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's still a college education. Anyone who's going to make fun of you or anything for going to a community college is just point blank, they're being a dumbass. So don't listen to them. You're making the right decision for yourself and it's not a big deal. So yes, all of those schools, you know, in-state, out-of-state, community college, take them into consideration. She also asked when it's a good time to write essays and stuff for the application process. Just don't procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. I'm saying that several times because it's so important, because essays, applying for scholarships, all of that stuff you should ultimately probably have done before the new year. And by that I mean, you know, say I was graduating class of 2014, I should have had all my stuff together by the end of 2013. They say at least for scholarships you should start applying between the time of Thanksgiving up until Valentine's Day, and that's a general pretty good rule of thumb. Yeah, I agree with that. But any essays you should probably have done before any of the Christmas shenanigans starts happening, just because it'll be out of the way, you'll have your schools applied for. Also, keep in mind if your school has early application sort of things. Iowa State University is one that did. I literally applied summer 2013 and I knew within 2 days that I was accepted. It's an in-state school. They get people in and out, you know, accepted, declined, and they move on super quick. So keep an eye out if your school does that, because I know a lot of you were asking back when I did my dorm haul, like, are you even accepted to college yet? Yes, I was. Sometimes you can apply early to schools. This is actually kind of the last thing I was going to talk about. It's as far as how you need to, or how should you go about figuring out what ACT, SAT scores you need to get. This actually probably should have gone at the beginning of the video, but whatever. Obviously, it depends for each school, and a lot of schools aren't necessarily going to say on their website, because that's kind of a, I don't know, that's just something that you wouldn't talk about on a college website. But there is a great website that I recommend that you check out. It is not sponsored. I literally just found it last summer when I was trying to research schools and stuff. It's called College Express. I'm gonna leave it in the description. You can go on there and search anything about any college of your choice. In particular, you know, you could look up a school and it lets you know the percentage of people who got accepted with this range of SAT scores or this range of ACT scores, and you can see, you know, where that falls in, kind of judge where you need to be at in order to get accepted. The website also shows things like the amount of scholarship money they give out on an annual basis, if it's an urban or rural campus. They talk about female to male ratio, like how many students they have. They give you like major just inside and out of any college of your choice, most popular majors like that the school is known for, a ton of other stuff. The climate of the college, literally, they talk about everything. It's awesome. So I highly recommend you use that as a resource. You just create an account and you can save schools that you're looking at, and it's a great resource. Not just for figuring out ACT, SAT scores, but literally everything regarding your whole college experience. So hopefully that wasn't too long of a video. I have no clue, but I just wanted to get all that information out there. Again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comments, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Otherwise, that is it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.